Hello, in this point, I would actually want us to check on the pivot tables. So this is part one of the pivot tables, and we are going to see the conditions that you must actually consider while creating a pivot table. So I have some table here that's from the order ID. So I have about 5 columns: the order ID, the product, the category, the amount, the date, and the countries. So from the order ID, I have from 1 all the way to 200, and I think it's 213. So let's scroll down there. So you can actually check that it's up to 213. Then the items you can check, I have the carrots, the oranges, the beans, the bananas. The categories, I have fruits and vegetables. Then from the amounts, you can actually check that the currency is actually in the US dollars. So the currency is actually in the US dollars. Then I actually do have the dates. So 2023 and 2024 only, so 2 years. And in this point, I have the countries. So these products are actually supposed to be exported to these countries here: the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, France, Canada, Germany, United States, Germany, Canada, France. So all these are the countries. So one of the first conditions that you must actually consider is that in this case here, while creating the pivot table, you must have the unique column headings. So you can check here that I have order ID here, and this order ID has not been repeated here. This product has not been repeated in these column headings. The category has not been repeated. The amount, date, and the country has not been repeated. So you must first have the unique headings in the column, or the unique column headings. The other item which you should also consider is that there should be no merged cells. What do we actually mean by merged cell? A merged cell is, let's say, for example, 2 or more cells which have actually been combined to be one bigger cell. So these 2 cells here, this one, that's actually H7 and G7 can be combined. That's, you select the 2 like that. You can just merge the 2 like that, and you can actually check that it's now one big cell. So this one has been combined. So we should not be having this kind of merged cells inside our data if we actually want to create the pivot table. So before we actually check on the third condition, I would urge you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on my X account. You can actually check that this is my X account. So follow me so that we can create one of the largest platforms here. And I would also want you to bring you to this point here so you can actually access all these courses of mine here. That's for Microsoft Excel. You can access all these courses in my Google Drive account at just $100. So $100 and you get access for lifetime. So all these courses will actually be going at $945 when the website is actually back. So imagine a bargain from $945 to $100. Just imagine that. On this other point, you can also check that I will be accepting projects from your end. So if you are actually having some work which is always going monthly, then you can actually pick this monthly retainer and for the monthly subscription. That's the cloud in Excel prompting, the dashboards and the charts, the automation, the pivot tables and the models, Power BI, financial forecast, templates management. I will actually be doing all this work, yes, per month at $550. But for the one-time task, let's say, for example, the AI-powered dashboard designs, that one will actually be going at $150. For the AI data analysis and insights, that one will be $200. For the AI automation and smart macros, that one will be $250. And finally, for the AI enhanced Power BI reports, that one will be $300. So all these prices are generally good. Finally, on the templates, you can check that I'll be designing for you the templates and managing it for you every month at $50. So you can actually pick this monthly retainer and the work will be done at $50. Designing, managing, and delivery. For the one-time task on the templates, if you need the ultimate business dashboards, the personal finance and budget trackers, the inventory management systems, the AI-powered reporting templates, HR and payroll trackers, sales performance trackers, then these are actually the prices. You can check that the prices are actually good. So to actually reach me out for the business, that is, if you actually need to assess the courses, get me the projects and get me the work on the templates, then this one here is actually my email. So reach me out so that we can actually talk business and I can actually help you when it comes to data analysis. And the most important thing is actually for me to propel your business and actually get you the proper records. Now, let's actually check on the third condition when it comes to creating the pivot tables. So the third condition is that you must actually be having the correct data types. Correct data types actually means that when it comes to something like amount, then you should actually be having numbers here. So when it comes to amounts, you should be having the numbers. When it comes to the date, you should actually be having the dates and not text. When it comes to the countries, you should actually be having the text. That's actually a correct data type. So I would actually want us to check if we have the correct data types before we actually proceed. So for the order ID, then it actually runs from 1, 2, 3, something like that. So they should actually be numbers. And for the products, carrots, broccoli, banana, beans, orange, these are basically the text. For the categories, these are basically the text. And for this point here, I'll actually have to explain something. But before we actually check on that, let's come to this point here. This ones here should actually be the dates. You can click on one of them like that, and you can actually check there. It's actually a date. And for this point here, these are the names for the countries. So these basically are the text. Now, when it comes to the amount, you should actually be very keen here when creating a pivot table. When it comes to the amount, it's always advisable that you avoid these dollar formats here or the currency formats before the amount itself. Like for example, in this point here, I have the dollar sign, then the amount, dollar sign, the amount. So what do we actually do? So select the amounts like that, select all of them. Then after selecting like that, then the next thing is for us to hit Control H on the keyboard. So Control H on the keyboard like that, it will ask you to replace. What are you replacing? We are replacing the dollar sign. Yes, we would actually want to remove that dollar sign. So to remove the dollar sign, you have to replace the dollar sign with nothing. Just like that. Then replace all. Yes, 213 replacements. All done. We have made 213 replacements. Then you hit on OK. That's it. Now, there's a reason why we are actually doing this. Why? Because in most of the cases, if you actually create a pivot table and you actually want to obtain, let's say, for example, the total amount for the products, then it will actually get you the amount to be a zero. So it will actually treat that amount with the dollar to be a text. So it will be a 0 plus another 0 plus another 0, which will actually get you finally at sum total of a 0. So if you would like to eliminate that 0, then you have to remove the dollar sign or the currency sign. Then you actually remain with the amount only, so that it will actually do 4270 plus 8239 plus 617, something like that. Then it will finally get you the total amount. That's it. So finally, allow me to actually create a table here. So for us to actually create a table, there are always two ways of creating a table. You can just click inside the data like that. Then you hit Ctrl T on the keyboard. Ctrl T on the keyboard. It will ask you where is the data for your table. In this point here, you can actually check that it's from A1 all the way to F214. Click on OK like that. So you can actually check that I have a basic table here. So the other way of creating a table is clicking on the data like that. Then you actually go into insert. Then inside the insert tab, we have the tables group. Then we have the table. You can actually check that it's now deactivated because already we do have a table. So you can actually check that the shortcut here is actually Ctrl plus C, which you actually used, or you can just get to the insert tab, tables group. Then you click on the table and this is it. So this is now a table. So that's all. So this was part 1 of the pivot tables. Let's check on part 2 in the next video.